through a lot of stuff tonight.
Okay. There.
And everybody head over to Nancy's
this
overstuffed house.
Hi, everybody.
If anybody wants to see anything else, I'm happy to stay behind here and go over it with you.
It's been a week. Okay, let me get to my own channel here. I'm not quite together. When am I ever together, right? Usually sale nights, but yeah, it's board of review time for scouts. So it's just been go, 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 go all week, and especially last night. And I was so wiped out that I slept for 12 hours. But I had the shots on Monday in my knee and in my back, and not my knee, my thigh and my back. So I finally, the shot in the thigh was into the actual ligament that goes down the leg. That was not fun. The IT band, that hurt so much that it took until I woke up this morning that it didn't hurt. And the lump that was like the size of a ping pong ball from when where he gave me the shot finally had disappeared. So, but yeah, I look a bit of a hot mess tonight. Sorry about that. But I've been working in the kitchen and getting that caught up because I've spent the last couple of weeks not being able to move well and being limited and walking with my cane. The shots have made a huge difference. So I was working in the kitchen because I wasn't down here a lot to clean it, and I live with two men. Can I tell you the state of my stove? Mike's been doing the dishes, but the concept of wipe down the stove when you make it dirty seems to be lost on these two. It was a hot mess. Sorry about that. One thing I completely forgot is the allergy medicine is upstairs. I don't have much left, but it's a Flonase. It's a spray. So yeah, that's upstairs, and I completely forgot to take it today. So as I've been kicking up dust in there and moving things around in here, I have completely messed up during the sinuses. So how is everybody else doing? You can actually see, look, you can actually see a little bit of tidied up space here. I did, because I don't have anywhere to move it to. That box is fabric. And if you go back and ever see the, where is that sale? No, I don't need eBay open anymore. I just quick listed two things on eBay. One is a vintage Halloween card that I've put up. Vintage Hallmark card from the 70s. Don't worry, I have a second one. I have a second one that I will be bringing to you guys of the exact same card. And a Mount Washington Cog Railway pamphlet from 1958. That was sitting in my draft folder. So I just quick got those up tonight. But I want to see which video is it of mine. Go to my channel. It was a live sale long while ago. And I had a lot of flannel and yardage of had that I had for sale. And what didn't sell has been in that box. And I had that's actually a tablecloth, a white old vintage tablecloth. And I had to put that over it so that the kitties do not lay on that flannel. I could tell from the fur that somebody's already gotten the edge of the white and red flannel. How long ago was this sale? I was going to put the link in the description, but I can't find it. Wow. Yeah, I'm not even finding where that sale was. I'm back to 2 years ago. It was not 2 years. I mean, I get it. It could have been a year at this point. Um, let's see if it was this one. So who's in the chat? Oh yes, vintage Halloween design by Clint. Hi. Yeah, I don't usually give up any Halloween stuff, but that was a special thing because that was the fact that I had two of them and they weren't ones I would keep. If it was, where'd I put it? Oh, I put it out there under the shelf because that's the shelf for the eBay stuff. But it definitely is really cute, but it's not my kind of thing. It has it's got some dark trees on it. Being the 70s, it's a dark blue background. The trees are black. There's an owl on one branch. There's little eyes looking at you from inside of another tree. And there's a jack-o'-lantern. Not my favorite holiday, not my favorite Halloween thing, the jack-o'-lantern. So if it had been a witch or a bat, I would probably have kept it. There it is. Sewers, quilters, crafters. That's from September 14th, so it has been a year. That has been a year. Now, no, the stuff in the B. I think that's the right one, right? Where's the flannel? That'll tell me, because I'm seeing a lot of cotton fabric going by. I don't think that's it. Oh, darn it. Is that not the right one? Oh, no, there it is. Cotton, the flannel is at the end. All right. So if anybody is interested in some, so I guess underneath the flannel is the cotton stuff. But if anybody, since the weather's getting cold, is interested in getting some flannel by the yard, check this video out. I don't know that I have some of the craft pieces that were in the beginning that are not material, but I know that box is all the material from that because I didn't have another place to move it to. And I didn't have a place at the time either to measure it out because I know the one thing is like 8 yards of it. So I can definitely cut it down now. I have enough space somewhere. But this is it's the link to the sale of fabric and flannel. There you go. Put that in there. So that way, if you need any, you can go back and see it, and then just shoot me an email or comment in the comment section, and I will let you know if I've actually still got it and have it in there. So let's see. Clint is here. Melinda is here. Nora is here. You don't like green faces? Yeah, I get. I'm not a huge fan of that either. I swear I was, some of you who've been here before know the story. But I swear I should have been born mischief night or Halloween. Out of the 6 kids, I'm the only one that was induced, and I'm the only one that's not on or within a day, actually on a holiday of some sort. So I swear I should have been Halloween baby. My mother even told the doctor that he was wrong and that I shouldn't not be due until around Halloween. But he was a jerk. He was a jerk. So it took me 3 hours tonight to finally get tidying up the kitchen, and then actually getting dinner made because my brother kept coming out and talking to me and talking to me and talking to I guess he was bored today. So it finally, dinner was finally ready in the pot by, at that point it was 7 o'clock. So the chicken and potatoes had to cook, and it was 9:30 when it was finally ready. Oh, and I've only been out here since 7 o'clock, back and forth, clearing some stuff out of back here. Other stuff went back to the playroom for temporary, but I did get stuff sorted out over here. I'm working on packing things up. Um, I'm working on some books that have to go to Maryland right now because I have tried to get back here, and the best I've done so far has actually been to separate the stuff that had been from a sale and pull out the stuff that did sell and separate and take the stuff that didn't and either take it somewhere else in the house. A few things they've had their third time through a sale, so they're in a box to go to Goodwill. So I got all that done, which is stuff you don't usually see. But I didn't get the main thing. I had wanted to work on packing for a week, but I just couldn't. I couldn't get back here. I couldn't lift my one leg high enough to step over the box that's there of stuff that I have to pack. Um, I couldn't even come up and down the stairs that often. So I spent the last week or so living upstairs pretty much. Michael would bring me dinner. I might come down in the morning to get breakfast, but my knee, just between the knee and the ligament, just was not able to do steps. I was back to walking with a cane even in my own house, but I'm so much better now. And I hope you all are doing better. I know one or two of you were having some issues. I've been thinking about you. So, but that's what we do. We can think about each other and send good thoughts each way. And what else did I do today? Oh, I was poking around in my Buy Me a Tea link because someone had very kindly bought me, Nanny from Sweden had very kindly bought me a couple of teas earlier today. And I realized I hadn't updated that in a while. So the two wish list goals are changed, and one of them's actually done. I need to get a new respirator mask, and I can't get one of the cheap ones. I really need one of the better quality ones because between the mold and the type of insulation that is in that hole that's up on the second floor where the roof had leaked and caused so much of the ceiling to come down, that insulation's from 1935. We don't know what's in it. There could be mold in it from being wet. There could be fiberglass in it. There could even be asbestos in it. So I need a really good respirator. Oh, Melinda, yes, wonderful. It'll make all the world of difference, man. It'll be all the world of difference. But I updated that because I need the mask, and then filters for it. And that's, from what I could tell, that's going to be $50 to $60. And then I need to get some drywall and spackling compound. So that's already, I sent it on my Facebook page, that instead of having a birthday to a charity thing for the month, I put that up and said, can you please do this? Well, the one person, bless her heart, is the one whose mom I'd helped so much last year. And I actually talked to her mom just today. And she did part of it. And then somebody else that I used to sing with and do things at Art and Singers with, and Rose Valley Chorus, because she plays in the orchestra. Bless her heart, she put the other half of it up. So that wish list fund has been just blown out of the water. It's done for that one. So I put in the comments. I didn't put what the other wish list was, because that's to make a little library. But I did update the overall goal. The overall goal now is for heating oil, because we didn't get any over it this summer. I put everything I had into the roof, and then I wasn't well for quite a few months. I kept having issues with the spine, and the flare up just kept getting worse and worse. And I found out one of the problems is there is a disc. There is a compressed disc. It's bulging, and that's been the culprit for some of this, because all that scout work and all the times that I'm leaning over a desk, I can't do that because it's compressing that disc more and more. And that was also part of this flare up, because now I saw the doctor that I'm used to seeing. I didn't see his associate, who was barely talked to me. I talked to Dr. Baxter, and he was great. And he got the ultrasound out, and he checked my leg, saw that the swelling inside he could see was the IT band. He used the ultrasound on my back to try to see what he could of that disc. And he could actually, because the way it's compressing is, so your spinal column is like this, and then there's a disc in between. Well, every time I lean forward, the spine is doing this. So it's bulging out the back. So he could look at it from the back. If it were going to the side or anything, he wouldn't be able to really see that with the ultrasound. But he's able to see it a little bit with the ultrasound, and he could see that it was bulging. And he's like, "You're doing something where you're leaning forward too much." And that's what the problem was. So I got a shot back there. That wasn't too kind either, but it was nothing compared to the shot in the ligament. But the shot in the knee, the shot of cortisone in the knee, I'm not due apparently for the Durolane, which is a gel they put in the knee. I'm not due for that until December. It has to be a set 6 months apart, or the insurance won't pay for it. And the insurance won't pay for like $5 of it. I get a bill every time for $5 that I have to pay. But he did do a cortisone injection, and boy, that helped the knee a great deal. And it's probably from all those up and down to the third floor and up and down the steps here when we were emptying the playroom as much as we could. That certainly just did me in a little bit, because I wasn't really pacing myself because there was just water everywhere. We were trying to get it done. But it's much, much better now. I'm so happy. It is so much better now. And now I can get back to doing what I really want to do, which is pack your stuff up. Because I do a little, and then I would find that I was a little bit too sore to do anything the next day. And then so, you're getting an epidural. Oh, they gave me an epidural before I went to the first summer camp, because I did not want to miss summer camp. I hadn't been injured that long, been a couple of months. My walker was in Mike's car in case I needed it. But I had the cane, and I had to take epidural shots, or he wouldn't do my, I couldn't get in to see my primary care to do the medical, the physical for Boy Scouts. So my spine doctor did it, and he would not clear me to go unless I had an epidural. It made a big difference, but the shots going in, They hurt, but they're worth it. I don't know if they hurt because everything was so inflamed because I'd only fallen just, he did the shots. He did the shots in the middle of July, and I had fallen in April. So, yeah, it hadn't been that long, and I was just finally standing up straight because I had to have physical therapy to get to where I could even stand up straight. And that was part of it. I had to go to therapy. I had to be able to stand up straight. I could go with the walker or the cane. He wanted me to take both. I took both. But I had to be standing up straight before he could do too much. And I had that epidural. And the epidural was a huge help, but it could be just the fact that everything was so inflamed and so swollen that it hurt going in. But if you know that, it's okay. Just think in terms of just don't move. And if anything, you can always like grip the fists and just try to channel all that if it hurts into that so that you don't jerk and move your spine. So when he did the ligament, I snapped this one and this one. I snapped two of my fingernails off on his table. He hates when I do that. He hates that because when I first went to him and the first time he examined my back and I was still hunched over, he tried to sit me up and I dug my fingernails into the chair so badly that I left fingernails from both hands like embedded in the chair. Yeah, see, I don't know if it's who does the shot or what, but yeah, I'd never had one before and that hurt like hell. Oh, I left fingernails in his chair again when I had that. And on one of them I actually screamed. But hey, I've gotten very good of like channeling when it hurts into some other area so that I don't jerk on them. Because, they're putting needles in me to give me uh steroids or whatever so that it'll stop hurting, but you don't want to do more damage when they're that close to your spine, so you don't move that much. So, well, they don't, and originally they just wanted to throw oxycodone at me, and it didn't do me any good. It didn't stop the pain. I tried it for 4 days and called his office back and said, this is not working. So they got me in to see him the next day because he didn't want to prescribe anything stronger or higher dose. And so, without seeing me. And so we had a conversation about what's the root cause of the pain. Because oxycodone, for one, is addictive. I don't really want to be on it. And it's supposed to just mask the pain. All it's doing is taking the edge off. It's not making it go away. What's the actual cause that's causing the pain? And he goes, well, all the inflammation of the spine, because it's affecting all the spine near where the pinched nerves are. It's hurting other nerves. It's messing up your leg. And I finally said, well, why are we not treating the inflammation then? So that's when I got put on naproxen, and it was like the difference was like night and day. Um, I had to be on naproxen. I had to take it twice a day, so it was every 12 hours. And if I got out of sync, I would be waking up in the middle of the night in so much pain. So I learned to live on it. I was on it for 2 solid years every day. But I couldn't function without it. Now I can function most of the time without it. though I admit that I took one this evening because I knew sitting in this chair and doing this work that I would be twisting, and I have to be careful of that. But yeah, or they don't understand how bad the pain can be, and it's different for everybody. Not everybody has the same pain tolerance. My pain tolerance, I was a tomboy, so my pain tolerance for some things could be pretty high, but that just took the wind out of my sails. So, but I'll think about you on, when did you say it was? Monday? Oh, Saturday. Oh, okay. 2 days. I will think good thoughts for you. Get that shot. So, oh, yeah. If the naproxen, I think that's one of the ones he told me I might need eventually because the one nerve is still stuck. They haven't been able to get the nerve that's on this right hand side out. The left, and they can't put me in traction therapy again because I still have to deal with the hernias. But I did find out where the doctor went that quit from the hospital near me. I know where he is now, and he's not in Center City, so it's actually doable that I could drive myself there. He went to Mercy Fitzgerald, which is in Lansdowne, on the edge of the city. So I'm going to go find him. I want him to get this done. And but my cardiologist apparently is friends with the man and told me where he went. Well, good for him. So, will my insurance cover him? That's what I have to find out because I have Obamacare insurance. I have Affordable Care Act insurance, and I have to make sure that that's still doable where he's at now, and that's a call I should be probably making. There's gonna be chaos tomorrow getting Michael out of the house, so that's a call I'll probably make on Monday, and find out because I found his thing last Monday, but it's been board of review time for Boy Scouts, which is always just chaos of emails and texts and phone calls. And then Scouts just last week was just a wave of kids that suddenly were in front of me, all trying to ask questions at the same time. And so they managed to get 10 kids through the board of review on Wednesday night, last night. That's pretty good. We only had 2 boards because we only had enough adults to run 2 boards. And, it's a lot of questions. So it's hard in the time of a meeting, a scout meeting, to get 5 kids through. We managed, got 10 kids through. And odds are, and thank goodness for the first time ever, there's a break because the town council uses once a month, we lose our Wednesday to be in the main room in the building because town council's in there. So we have to take, we can't do the border reviews that particular week, which is next Wednesday. So we have a break for the first time ever in between, which I am so thankful for. So it's less chaos for me and for the lady who actually runs the border reviews, gets the parent volunteers and runs them all through it. Because I've still got kids that want to advance, but they haven't finished enough merit badges, or they're missing service time, or they didn't do enough adopt a highways. So they need to find a way to do more service time. And that's a bit challenging. So that's a bit much. A border review, each kid once they get to, well, scout rank, scout's actually an official rank now. There's stuff they have to do for scout, and it usually takes about 2 weeks if they're paying attention, maybe 3 meetings at most. And they get scout rank. And it's basically learning scout oath, scout law, the positions of the patches on the uniform, the correct way to wear a uniform, a couple other things. And they get a scoutmaster conference. They don't necessarily have to fill in a form for scout rank, but for tenderfoot and up, there's a thing called a growth sheet that we use, and there's questions on it they have to answer. What do they think is good about their patrol? What do they think is bad about their patrol? How do they think the troop could improve? How do they think they could improve from where they were from their last board of review to the next one? What challenges did they have in getting to the rank that they're going for? And then they have a Scoutmaster conference who reviews all of that with them. So it's helping them. First off, it gives us input to see where our, how should I put it? Where our program is failing this kid. If there's spots where they're really struggling. But then at the same time, it also makes the kid think about things like, well, where do I want to be? How soon do I want to get to the next rank? How hard am I thinking I'm willing to work? It gets them into the mindset of starting to plan ahead, which is great because you have to have that skill by the time you're going for Eagle Scout. You have to know how to plan ahead. And then the board of review, after they get it signed off by us, the growth sheet, that sheet goes in with them to a board that is usually 3 to 5 adults, and they have a whole packet on their own of suggested questions, or they can ask them about something that's on the growth sheet because it helps spur the discussion. Now, the board of reviews for us, one of the things with it we encourage the adults to get picky about is eye contact, fidgeting, rocking back and forth on their feet, and being loud enough to be heard. Because some kids, when they start off and they're 11 and they're on the other side of a table from you and they're supposed to be back about 3 feet from the table, we've had kids at 11 who we've had to come right to the table and we're all leaning forward because we can't hear them. They're too shy. So it's helping them get ready because when they make Eagle, not only do they have to go through a practice border review with adults from our troop, once their paperwork's all submitted, they get a board of review from council. And it's going to be people that don't know them, that's going to expect a certain level of confidence, a certain level of ability to be able to stand your ground on for questions about what you did for your project, what you did for your scouting career. You have to make sure your uniform is 100% correct for that board of review. And so all of this is getting them to that point. So it's a way to use it as a teaching tool because you're giving them feedback. You make them step out of the room once you're done asking them questions. And then when I was on the committee and did these, we would then have a little conversation about, well, what things do we want to point out that he did well on? And then what things can we give him to improve? And so that's what they do. They bring them back in and then they'll tell them, you did well. We liked your answers, but maybe we didn't like how you presented yourself. Let's start with the fact that you need to be louder and you need to actually look at us. And it'll get more critique from there, from when they're 11 on up. The older they are, the more picky the critique gets. But it gives them experience to actually be able to present themselves properly. And that is a skill just like any other. And it's with the No Child Left Behind Act. I have a lot of friends that I went through high school and college with that, um, or that I knew from theater groups, because you can't throw a rock at a theater group and not hit a bunch of teachers or lawyers. And one of the big things they said is that you really don't get to have oral reports where they have to have critical thinking and have to present themselves, because a lot of that is gone, because you have to teach, you have to cram the kids with so many facts that you can think of, because you're teaching to a test that the kids are going to get once a year, but you're not allowed to know what's on the test, and it accounts for a huge amount of their grade, yet the teacher doesn't even know what's on it. So it's a lot of that critical skills, critical thinking skills, presentation skills. At a lot of schools, that's just out the window because there just isn't a way to do it. And if you don't learn that in high school, when are you ever going to learn it? Where are you even going to learn it? So it's absolutely a skill. And so for our scouts, this is a way to really help them with it. I have met other troops where they just ask them a couple of questions and just kind of rubber stamp them through. I don't think we've ever had a kid fail, but at the same time, we have made sure that we give them an actual critique. And I've talked to a couple of other scoutmasters in the area from different troops, and they don't do that. And I went, well, maybe this is one of the reasons why you don't have a lot of successful Eagle Scouts. Because I knew it was the right troop when I got there, and the senior patrol leader came over to talk to us. Now, the senior patrol leader is the highest level of leadership of the boys. They literally, it's supposed to be boy-led troops. So the boys, there's a senior patrol that runs the meetings. He came over to us and told Mike, well, when you make Eagle, not an if, not a maybe, when. That's how I knew I found the troop that I wanted. Because the troop I grew up with, they did that. And it didn't come from the adults. It came from the other kids. It just was the expectation by the other kids that this is just what we do. So the adults, we have a reputation of being kind of an eagle factory, but that's because someone whose son is now a first year scout in our troop, he actually created a program that was very specific and started. That was one of the things he started, is that if it's going to be boy led, it has to be boy led, but you have to train them how to lead. And it all starts with the idea of, well, when you make Eagle. And he's the one that created the protocols for the border reviews that we use. And it's wild now seeing that his son is there as a brand new scout. But it makes a difference. Public speaking is a must. We are also into the technology and everything, and I have met people, millennials on down, who have no concept of how to do proper public speaking. They just haven't gotten. There's a certain professionalness to some things that you will have to do. Like when you're speaking to your boss, you're not speaking to your buddy. When you're speaking to your boss's boss, you are definitely not speaking to your buddy. And you have a protocol that you need to know and understand. And if you've never had any kind of public speaking training, you're not going to know it. And a lot of these kids haven't got it. And so in our troop, though, that border review really does help with that. It really does. And then there's kids that get, they take the public speaking merit badge. I had a couple of them this year that I kind of pushed them into it. The senior patrol leader being one of them, and his two ASPLs, assistant senior patrol leaders. I told all three of them, you guys need to be in public speaking. Ready or not, you need to be in public speaking. But there's two others I convinced, actually Jarvis went too, so three others that I convinced that they needed to go. And two of those three were none too sure about this. But I kept telling those two, you're ready. And they kept going, no, we're not. And I went, yes, you are. You're ready. You need this. It will help you. You can do this. And I'll be at camp too. So if you get too nervous about it or anything, come talk to me. You'll be fine. They never came to talk to me. They finished the merit badge, and their skills of talking to people have definitely improved. Now, one of them has had a major shift in confidence in himself. He joined the troop, and Michael's only been with us. This is his second year, because his first trip was summer camp, not this year, but last year. So he's been with us for a year and a half. He just made star rank last night. This kid, when he first joined, would mutter, would stare at the floor. I got rid of the muttering because I kept making him repeat stuff until he could say it clearly. So that, he hated that. So that bad habit went away very quickly. But he still wouldn't look me in the eye when he talked to me. But I knew he was ready, and he was one that I recommended to go to National Youth Leadership Training, NYLT. He came back from that a different young man. I noticed it right away because at the very first meeting, he walked up and talked to me and looked me directly in the eye. No hesitation, no shifting the eyes away, looked at me directly in the eye. I've been waiting a year for that. So he's now so gung-ho and so confident. It's just really turned him around. He's also learned some better skills for organizing, time management, and he's now got he wants to be the next senior patrol leader. And it cracked me up because he was already talking to the brand new scouts, because he's their troop guide, because there's always an older scout that's a guide, and it's their job to help teach them all the lower rank requirements. And there's such a big group, because there's 10 of them, that we have 2 troop guides, because it's also hard to find positions of responsibility when you've got 48 kids. But he's so gung-ho. He has already talked to them about, well, you'll all vote for me, right? Well, if you've got those 10, you've got almost a quarter of the troop right there to vote for you when we get to the spring and get to the elections. So he's already lobbying to be the next senior patrol leader. His mom, who is one of our new our assistant scoutmasters, she told me that it's just been an amazing change. He does chores around the house without being pestered. He's got his room, and it has every day of the week what he's going to work on. And I said, wow, I'd love to see what that chart says. So then she says, I'll take a picture and send it to you. But she said it's all divided. It's stuff he wants to work on for scouts. It's stuff he wants to work on for school. And it's stuff around the house. He's decided that it needs, somebody to do that, and he's going to see about doing it. And like, wow. Because they have a very busy life, because dad is working in China. And mom's got her and an older brother, and older brother is at college right now. And then there's Michael, and she not only is a real estate agent, but she owns a Chinese food restaurant. So she's managing that, running him all around for everything, and she's selling houses. I don't know when she has time to breathe. So she's quite thrilled that he's decided to make life easier. he's going to take over some things around the house. It's going to be his job. I don't know what those things are yet, but I'll be interested to find out. But this is why I do what I do. It is such a joy to see one of these kids suddenly have that epiphany and find their footing and their confidence to take charge of their life. Because that's, as a parent, even, that's really what you want for your kid. You want them to be able to stand on their own 2 feet because you're not always going to be there. You are not going to be with them every day at school. You're certainly not going to be with them when they're at college. What if they move away? They're going to be on their own. They have to know how to stand on their own 2 feet. And that's got to be taught. That's really got to be taught between 11 and 18. You've really got to get going on that at that point in time. Because my mother, she tried, but not a one of her boys were, because dad had the attitude the woman's supposed to do everything. So not a one of her boys really could stand on their own 2 feet like that. So I took it, everything that I watched my mother do with my brothers, and I didn't do that. I was like, nope, no, no. So I did everything I could to encourage and sometimes push Michael with a foot in the backside. But I wanted him to think critically and to learn how to stand on his own 2 feet. And I couldn't be prouder. I could not be more prouder of the way he's turned out, And so I do that with these guys. I think of all those kids. There are some that I do tend to think of more often because I tend to gravitate to the ones that need that little extra help. I gravitate to all the ones that have an IEP because they have learning or a attention problem. I tend to gravitate towards them, but they're also the ones that tend to need a little more help. The ones that hang back because they're shy, I absolutely know what that's like. I haven't forgotten. And so they just can't get their head around it at first that I used to be that shy kid. Very, very shy. And so it makes a big difference. It also makes a difference because they have a trusted adult at least one night of the week that understands the internal struggle of being a shy person, and just knowing that makes them feel like they have an ally, like they have somebody that they can go to about their work in scouting and talk to. And so that happens a lot with the shy ones, with some of the ones that have IEPs. I'm still crying. Some of them, though, sometimes they could be a tough nut to crack. There's one young man I have who is still very insecure. He's 14. He's been with us for a year now. Little little less than a year and a half. But because this past summer was his first summer camp, but he joined it like he joined it, I think, 13. He's 14 now, and he's got serious attention problems. And he's finally, after a year, when we were doing extra service time for him, he finally admitted one of the reasons he hasn't gone camping is because he's afraid to. You know, summer camp was one thing because there's so much other stuff to do, and that was great. But if it's a smaller group and it's, a specific camping trip where it's one-on-one, and maybe that wouldn't be as fun or as good, and he's just talks himself out of stuff. And I, in a year, have not been able to crack that nut too much. He's just now, after a year, finally starting to talk to me. But he talks to me, but but now what he's doing is he's verbally telling me all these things are going through his head as he's talking himself out of something, out of doing something. He now does it out loud to me. So I got a ways to go. And it doesn't help that his parents just separated. So dad's in one town, not too far away, and he's there on weekends. And then mom's got him for so that he's still in this good school district. And yeah, so there's all that on him too. So I'm still working on him. We don't do politics here, sweetie. We don't tend to do those here. It's not the place for them. So, so it's I mean, yeah, I mean, it's if my mother had not put me in Young People's Theater Workshop when I was 13, I would never have gotten over the shyness. I mean, that was the start of it because you learned how to hide it. You learned how to create this character that you showed to the world, and you could be shy inside and you could hide it. Um, but then I took communications as a degree in college and um, learned how to have some of the psychology courses I was taking for secondary ed. Um, I learned a lot about how the mind works and all that. So those were big helps, absolutely big helps. Oh yeah, Dame Maggie. Oh, I have been a fan of hers since I saw PBS did. She won a Tony Award for Lettuce and Lovage, and it was I think it was only two women in that play, and they showed a broadcast live from Broadway, and I just loved it and absolutely adored this crazy character that she played. And so I'd been a fan ever since. And I found a lot, like when they still had their discs, the DVDs, Netflix had quite a few British movies that we didn't have over here, or plays that had been filmed. There was a whole series of George Bernard Shaw plays that I was able to find the DVDs for on Netflix that I got to see, and they were really good. And oh, Melinda, I don't blame you at all. I have whole chunks of things I don't remember. I remember little fragments. The first time I was the lead on stage, Velveteen Rabbit, I was the Nana. I have precious little memories of those performances. I was terrified out of my mind. Um, but with Dame Maggie, I've been such a fan for years, and I was kind of okay. And then somebody shared with me because they know Hook, the movie Hook with Robin Williams in it, and she's in it. And it's one of my favorite movies, and I love the twist that they do in the story of Peter Pan. And they changed the word, had a picture of each of them from that movie, and they said now they're together. And in the movie, he says, "Hello, Wendy lady," because he's Peter Pan, but she was the Wendy of the storybook. And this is years later, and he's married now, and he didn't remember he was Peter Pan. But I'm not going to get into the whole detail of the premise of the movie. But it said, "Hello, Maggie lady," and that one made me cry. But it just gets, I mean, all these great actresses. Judi Dench is the same age. Their birthdays are both in December. They both will be 90 in December. And Judi Dench has lost her vision. She can't see anymore. I think macular degeneration. Um, and she's managed to act in some movies and things, but she can't see. Uh, she would get somebody, oh, don't need that. She would get somebody to read her the lines so she could learn them. So, oh, yeah, the wands up from Harry Potter. Disney did a beautiful thing. At the Harry Potter section of Disney World, they did a special thing, and they had through the loudspeakers her speech for when Dumbledore dies, and they wands up, and they sent fireworks straight up from behind the castle, behind Hogwarts, and they did that for like 2 or 3 nights in a row, which was just, I thought that was just a beautiful send off that they could do for those that knew her only through Harry Potter. So yeah, she's it's a hard loss, and there's gonna be more. I mean, Chris Christopherson passed away recently, and I Judy Dench is up there. Ian McKellen. I just saw a TV interview, British TV morning show. I saw it on YouTube, and he had that fall off the stage that really scared him, and he doesn't really know why he fell, but he's I've seen it so many times with my older relatives because I grew up knowing these people who, I mean, Annie, I was born in 1900, for heaven's sake. So I grew up knowing 5 of the 9 of my great grandparents' kids. And I think he may have had a mini stroke because in one thing was very evident in that interview. He's suddenly old. That bit of being cautious about everything. You've had a major health scare. You're nervous about how you walk. You worry about, it's just, I don't know. There's a certain thing there that just, the back isn't as straight. The laughter doesn't come as fast. He's suddenly like got afraid of his age, I think is the best way to put it. The person just kind of has something happen, and then they suddenly like get nervous about their age. And that's what it was with him. That's what he sounds and looks like now. That kind of spark is definitely dimmed that he's always had. And I worry that he's gonna be next because he's up there as well. But there's another Lord of the Rings movie coming. That was one of the things that he brought up at this interview. And he said he has to keep going on living because he'd be damned if he wants to see anybody else wear that pointy hat. So it's being done by, I'm drawing a blank on his name. The gentleman, Andy Serkis, the gentleman who played Gollum. Um, it's a story that is before The Hobbit. There's supposed to be 2 movies, and so far he only knows the real details of one. In that it's Gollum's story. Like, how did Gollum? If you ever have the extended version, there is a scene where Andy Serkis's character um, finds the ring and what happens, but then there's a gap. There's a gap from when he finds the actual One Ring to when Bilbo finds it in the cave during The Hobbit. So there's this massive gap there. And that gap's supposed to be about 100 or more years. So they want to explore Gollum's side of it. So they're doing the movie, but that means, and it's not going to start filming until next year in New Zealand. So he's got to hang on there. um, so he's ready. He's supposed to be doing Gandalf again, which will be awesome. Absolutely awesome. So I can't wait to see that. I do wonder if now we've lost Christopher Tolkien last year, Yeah, last year. Now, he was the son of J.R.R. Tolkien, and he'd been putting out books that he's had to edit together because his father left thousands of manuscripts, a lot of Middle Earth lore. And so he's been editing them for his entire adult lifetime, and getting them published. And last Christmas, there was one that was coming out that was printed just after Christopher Tolkien had died. And apparently now the grandson has things that his father had finished, and he will supposedly now be trying to finish the legacy and get the last bits out. And Andy Serkis is supposedly talking to the grandson of Tolkien to get any published or unpublished scrap of writing that was about Gollum and Gollum's backstory. So some of it will be based as much as possible on Tolkien's actual writing, and where there are gaps, if it's just odd little bits, then the gaps will be written by somebody else. Peter Jackson is involved in this too. So I don't know that he's directing it, but he's certainly helping to develop it. So it sounds like it could be really awesome. So I can't wait to see what they do. So I have my water with my Mio. I occasionally get Mio that has like the vitamins in it, because you get sick of drinking just plain water. So how many do we have here? Oh, 5 thumbs up and 8 watching. That's okay. I know these chats don't always have a lot watching. They do get replayed. I know that. They get played tomorrow. People will watch them. So who's here? Who's hiding out? Because so far I've mostly seen Clint, Nora, and Melinda. Who's lurking? Who's in the background lurking? So I know I got to finish. I still haven't finished the little note for Marilyn. I've got her little books packed up so I can get that set. Yeah, I only own of the Tolkien books. I would love to get more of them. I do have a copy, a hardback copy. I don't even know how old it is because I inherited it from the collection. I have a copy of the Silmarillion. I have paperback copies of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and they're falling apart because I've read them so many times. So I really would love to get a hardback set of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and I have a hardback. I have a hardback from the 70s, I think, of The Hobbit, and that's it. That's all the Lord of the Rings books I have. I keep intending to get them, but I keep putting money towards other things. So I'll get them eventually. Better be soon. I'm turning 59 the end of the month. And those are things I want to read. One of the wish list goals that I revamped. Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw that there was a comment, but I didn't get a chance to write it down yet. And I actually have the bag of pins right here. So I will get that taken care of after we're done chatting. So the other wish list goal for the Buy Me a Tea is to build, and I used a thumbnail of the one, so you all know big Doctor Who fan. Got 2 TARDISes sitting right here. And I found it just popped up on my, I forget if somebody sent it to me or if it just popped up in my Facebook feed, but it's a picture of one of these little libraries where it's, it's a little box, usually with a glass door, that you put on your property. Some towns have them like at the edge of the park or something. I know in Chester, I know there's one downtown opposite City Hall. It's the only one I've seen in Chester, but that's the other side of town. But I want to build one. I want to build one and have it out front, because with Salmon Sound Meat Market and Upland being right down here, and I get a lot of foot traffic on this street. And the bus stop for the Catholic school, the Catholic high school, is right down the corner down there. And so sometimes the kids are walking home for the high school. So I get quite a mix of people walking by my street, walking down my street past my house. And so I have all these books. And I would love to take some of them and have a little one of those little libraries, and I'll get it registered, because there is a website that's little libraries, and you can get a little plaque. Each library gets a little code number. There's actually, you can look up maps to see if any of them are in your area, and they're just free books, and you can take a book and leave a book, or you could just take a book. In some areas, they have a little free library that also includes a little food pantry. So there's all kinds out there. But this picture was of a TARDIS one. I really want to make that, but I need to make it a little bigger than what that picture is. And of course, you need to have a good, strong post. So I would need to buy a 4x4, because I don't have any of that in my basement. Most of the lumber I had, they used on the roof. So yeah, so I'm gonna get it registered, and but I need the money to actually like get the lumber, and we've got some leftover pieces of roofing material, so I can put a roof on it that's waterproof, because I'm a little leery of having it be the actual TARDIS without a roof that goes like this, because I don't want rain to get in it. And the way a TARDIS is with that squared off roof, I'd be concerned of water getting in. So my TARDIS is going to have like a tent over the top part. But that's what I want to make it out of. But I need the materials, because I certainly have the books. Absolutely have the books. So, oh, the new glasses, Lou. So these are really cool. I wanted glasses that were purple, and these are actually kind of iridescent. And they're from, what was it, Zelly? What was the name of the place? Let me see if I can find it. Zenny. And this is not a paid promotion by any means, but I'm going to go ahead and put the link in. Mike got these for me. These were last year's birthday present. But this is the link for the glasses. Is Zenny. And they're fabulous. I was concerned about getting ones online because I need bifocals. And so I have graduated bifocals. I don't even see them. There's no little line on there. He surprised me. Wow, there's a lot of dust on that one side. But it was great, because we found ones I really liked. I got a kick out of the cat's eye. I thought that was really cool. The very first glasses I had as a young kid, I was 10 or 11 when I got my glasses, and I had gotten cat's eye pink the rhinestones on the corner. And I hated giving those up. I wish I still had those. One thing our family's always done though is that there is a Lions Club drop off over in Aston. And so because God, all of us all of us wear glasses. Well, Roy doesn't tend to wear glasses, but Roy has glasses. Though I've seen him with them on more than I've seen him off now. He's to the point where he can't get away without wearing them. But all of us growing up had glasses. So, with 6 kids, that's a lot of glasses. So they would always get donated to the Lions Club. So I was looking for something that was quirky and kind of purple, and the iridescent was awesome. And they actually could get me. I had the number. Now I don't see the number on here like they were on the ones I had before, but the purple ones I had before were actually a kid's pair, and the arms are shorter. So he had to put in the number, the code number that was on the inside of the arm, because that got me shorter arms. And when once I had those, the first pair that I had that was a kid's size, I no longer had my glasses falling off my face. I have spent my life having to do this like every so many minutes. And so now I have glasses that fit last time I had glasses. So we made sure we got the same arm length on this pair, and they've been perfect from day one. And he really surprised me because I needed the coating for reflection because my eyes are light sensitive, and if there's a glare, if I didn't have that coating and the glass glared, I wouldn't be able to see. I wouldn't be able to see through them. So I got that, and he put up half, I put up half. But then he fussed with it, and I didn't know what he did. Didn't even know he did it. So, oh no, Melinda. Yeah, I have had glasses that I have occasionally had to glue because I bent frames and things and had to glue lenses back in. Oh, I hope you find it. The problem is sometimes, because the glasses are a little concave, is if you step on them, sometimes they'll just, from under your foot, will just eject and slide across the floor somewhere or across the carpet. So look a little further around the area you were when you stepped on it. It may have kind of ejected itself a foot or two away. I've had one on a hard floor that shot itself about 5 feet. It now is on the kitchen floor, and it shot itself right underneath the stove. But he got and I didn't know it till I had them on, and it was a bright sunny day, and I realized I wasn't squinting. I'm like, why am I not squinting? It's bright out here. He got the darkening. They automatically turn into sunglasses. The lenses darken. I forget the right term for it. And and I didn't know. He didn't tell me. He had gone in after we were done, and when he said, okay, it'll be this price, and I gave him my half of it. And then he went back in and he added that on, and then he paid the whole thing. So he didn't. That was my surprise. Transition. Thank you. So that was a heck of a birthday present. It was great. It's so weird. I've spent my entire life squinting in the summertime. Well, I shouldn't say that. I did when I was working. At that point, I was making the money. There was one place I was working, and I was able to afford to get 2 pairs of glasses, prescription sunglasses, when I worked at Walden Books. And so that would have been late 80s into the early 90s. I got prescription sunglasses and regular glasses. And that's the only time I was able to do that. So this is great. This is great. They fit, they don't slide down, and I can actually see when I'm outside without squinting. That's wonderful. If I was outside in the sunlight for too long, for years, I would start to get a headache, and it's because I'm squinting all the time. And I don't have to do that now. It's so nice. Absolutely wonderful. So, oh, let me quick finish this while I'm thinking of it. If I can spell right. Poor Marilyn. I was yawning, and I yawned when I was writing her name, and I misspelled her name. Like, that's just wrong. Because when you buy books for me, I always try to make sure that they get sent separately so that you get the benefit of media mail, because then that's cheaper. It may take a little longer to get there, but it's definitely much cheaper because books tend to be heavy. And did any of you see that the higher prices for shipping, because we still have, what's his name, DeJoy? Takes all the joy out of stuff. The man who's running the post office, who was appointed under the previous president, he's still running it, and so now they do this holiday pricing where they jack up the price during the Christmas season, and apparently that went into effect end of September. So prices will be higher now from now through to the beginning of January. If they just have Congress have a set of cojones and fix the blasted bullcrap that got shoved through at some point, that the post office has to fund a pension plan for employees they have not yet even hired. What horse crap is that? No corporation has to do that. So why on earth? Why does the USPS have to do that? That's just stupid. I think it was done just as a way to try to get rid of them because they want them. Not everybody, but some lobbying has gone on where they want the Postal Service to fail because they want UPS and other delivery services to take it over. The problem with these other delivery services is they don't tend to do rural delivery. They don't do PO boxes. They also don't do things like liquid, flammable medications. We need our USPS. We need our postal service. Oh, Prada. They have to admit, Prada does have some very nice designs on some of their glasses. They do have that. They have had some very nice designs. These. It's getting late and I'm punchy, even though I slept so much. Forgetting how to spell the word books. That's just, yeah. There we go. Get that tucked in here. She wants this one book. She'll love it. The Making of the African Queen by Katharine Hepburn. Oh, I think I've read that book 4 or 5 times. There. So I have all this leftover painter's tape. And we're so far away from ever using it on the house at this point. So I've been making use of it for packages and using it on either on the bubble wrap or in this case using it on the newspaper that I'm protecting this book with. Oh, I never knew that, Lou. Yep, P.O. boxes here, and when I started, Misty was one of them. A couple of the other bigger channels that were very kind to me when I was first starting out and helped me out. They all said, "Oh, you need to get a P.O. box." Not in my area, I don't. In my area, to get a P.O. box for the one that's closest to my house, which isn't in Chester, it's in the town, 2 towns over. It would be $175 a month for a P.O. box. I'm not. I'm so not doing that. That's just not happening. Not at all. Not at all. So, yeah, no. Maybe if I were as big as Misty, maybe. Or remember Thrift You? Yeah, maybe if I were as big as those channels are, then yeah, maybe. But oh, come on, cooperate. I got the Sunday comics here because I need to put these two together. But for now, oh wow, yours is 200 for a year? I am so jealous. So jealous. Man, I just don't understand, like, how are they so drastically different in price? I just don't quite get that. How is it that varies so greatly across the country? I just don't get it. Come on, cooperate. Honestly, now I'm folding paper. I've been doing a lot of folding stuff today. Folded up laundry, made Michael help me because one of the things that got dirty didn't get wet, thank goodness, but parts of the roof parts of the ceiling had fallen on out in the playroom. There had been 10 yards of muslin, so I had to wash it. Well, 10 yards of muslin make a really big, knotted up, twisted pile of muslin when you get it out of the dryer. So we had to kick Elron out of the room because he kept trying to jump on it and leap on it like he does when Mike's trying to change sheets of his bed because he thinks it's playtime. So I had to chase him out of the room and shut the door on him. And then I had to get it all untwisted and laid out like accordion folded on the bed. And then I had to get Mike to help me just so I could fold it in half. Like most fabric, when you go to sew with it, it's in half. It's folded in half. That's the way patterns work. You lay the fabric out on that. And so I was like, yeah, I need to get this folded properly, even if it's not ironed yet. I can iron it later when I'm going to actually use it. But there was no way I could fight with that much fabric by myself. So I was folding it and he was holding it. 10 yards, all 10 yards of it. So I've been doing that. And then we had a bunch of boxes in the kitchen that why did I still have empty cat food boxes and empty cereal boxes? So I folded all them flat, took them out to the recycling bin on the porch because we can keep that. The newspaper one we can keep outside because it fits right underneath the bench on the front porch and you can't see it because the pillar is right there. So I got that dumped out and so cleaned up a lot. Call a generation? Oh, gee, the opening strains to Purple Rain from Prince. That certainly would get the attention of a bunch of Gen Xers. We All Live in a Yellow Submarine is going to get a lot of generations. Oh, God, American Pie. So I knew that song as a kid because Steve, who was 16 when I was born, so Steve played music all the time. And so I grew up hearing a lot of stuff from the 40s, the 50s on up, even though I wasn't born until 65. And because he loved big band jazz, he loved the music of the 40s. He grew up with the generation of the 50s and the music then, and he played American Pie, and I used to know all the words, but I didn't understand what it meant. I didn't know really what it was about. And I was devastated when I found out that that was about a plane crash that took out some incredible musical talent. But when one of the ones it took out was the Big Bopper. And I loved his music. I still love his music, even though there's just not that much of it out there. I still have the 45 of Little Red Riding Hood. And, oh, shoot. Now I'm drawing a blank. What's the other one? You have Little Red Riding Hood. And there's another one I have the 45 of. Or is that on the back of the 45 for Little Red Riding Hood? Chantilly Lace is another one. His version of Chantilly Lace is on the back of Little Red Riding Hood. But then there's another one. So, oh, I'll have to look for that, Melinda. Because it was years later that when I grew up as an adult, that I found out that that's what it was about. Oh, I think there's some songs. American Pie is one of them. And it depends on the genre too, because there's some songs that for some people that like only listen to heavier metal, like heavier rock. There's certainly going to be some Metallica or AC/DC songs, just like there's certainly going to be some Beatles songs or some Rolling Stone songs that really click for a big chunk of a generation. So, Professor of Rock. What's this? Can I write on this? I can write on this. Professor of Rock. I posted one on my personal Facebook today that got me. So I had never thought of this, but I was today years old when I realized that Three Little Pigs, or not Three Little Pigs, but this little piggy we did this little piggy did that. The last one was always, and this little piggy went to market. I was today years old when I realized he wasn't going to go shopping. I saw that and I went, what do you mean he wasn't? Oh. So I had to share it. And it was like, wow, I was today years old when. And so far, two of my friends have actually admitted that they also were today's year old when they realized that this little piggy went to market did not mean it was out shopping. Yeah. Some things you just don't realize. Big Bopper, Buddy Holly, Richie Valens. That was the third one. Oh man, and Buddy Holly. God, Buddy Holly had a voice, man. And some great, great songs. Oh. Come on, get over here. Definitely. Where did my house ate it? Can't find my. Oh yeah, I mean, I grew up, hearing it as a little kid, and this little piggy did this, and I can remember doing it to my nieces. I mean, I became an aunt. I was only 10, but I can remember doing it to them. And now, they got kids they did it to, and never occurred to me. Not at all. This little piggy, it went to market. Oh, hello. Whoa. Are you big enough? Are you big enough? Please be big enough. You're too big, but I don't care. It's big enough. I don't remember who it goes to. It's on my list of stuff to ship. But this really cool book sold at one of my lives, and I've been searching and searching for something big enough to put it in. Big enough. Yay. Yes, please. So, my friend, the older lady who I helped, she gave me this big old bag, and it's all, well, that one's just a piece of paper. It's all big envelopes because she never wasted anything. So there's a lot of, oh, these aren't even used, big envelopes in here. Some of them are padded envelopes that she had been hanging on to and thought, if I could use them, then I could, she saved them for me. And Ring Around the Roses. Oh yeah, Ring Around the Roses is Ashes, Ashes, We All Fall Down. It's all about the plague. One of the plagues. Black Death, I think. There is, if you really want to learn about those, there is a fabulous book called The Annotated Mother Goose. And it is an awesome read. I haven't read it in years. When I finally find it again, I am absolutely going to read it again. Because after all these decades since I've read it, I've lost track of a lot of it. I don't remember most of it anymore, but I know Ring Around the Rosie, though, was something to do with a plague, because the posies, a pocket full of posies, was because to get around, you needed something to smell to get past the stench of all the dead bodies. And ashes and ashes was because there were so many that they were burning the bodies. The ring is the rings you would get on your skin from whatever plague it was at the time. So I do remember that one. But I honestly didn't remember the piggies one. Don't remember that one. Jack and Jill had some. Jack and Jill supposedly had some odd meaning, but I don't remember what that one was. So yeah, I would love to read that again. And I'm pretty sure I own it. Just don't know where. It's funny. There's this website called List Challenges, and you can go through them and do lists that are books, that are, the categories are movies, travel, movies, books, and then I think other, or no, food, and then other. So those are the overview catalogs, and then there's like all this stuff within those. So you can find book ones that are just nonfiction. I like doing those. But some of those lists can be like 1,000 titles. I find it hysterically fun to just do those. And it may take me a week. And I'll write down what page I was on, and but it's a thing I can do um when I have to when I have to sit and listen to something and it's boring me out of my mind, but I gotta listen to it anyway. So it's a mindless thing I can do. And you can check off and see where you rank on these lists of things. And we were going through it, and Mike was there and he's watching me and he goes, "What's that list on?" And I went, "Oh, classic books, stuff that everybody supposedly should have read, college reading level type, you're an educated reader if you've read these classics." And it had like 300 books on it. And he goes, "So are you clicking off all the ones you own or all the ones you've read, or is it both?" And I went, "Oh no, I'm clicking off all the ones I've read. But there's stuff on this list that I own that I haven't read." So he asked me, he said, "Can you keep track of how many are on that list do you own?" It was a list of about 300 books. And I'd read 100, I'd read over 150 of them. I know that. I know it was over half. But there was another 25% of those books of what was left. There was at least half of them that I know I own, but I haven't read yet. So yeah, because I have this book because I had such odd education with the 5 years in Christian schools. I wasn't allowed to read classics. I never read Shakespeare until I got to Comp 1 in college. So I wanted to kind of make up for that, because there's a lot of stuff that's referenced. You'll come across something you read and they reference some great classic and you don't know what they're even talking about, because I had that kind of a sheltered education for 5 years. So I got this great book, and it has college reading lists from 100 different colleges, and they're recommended. They either are the recommended ones that you should already be familiar with before you get to college, or they are the ones that are used in classes at college. Oh yeah, Book Addicts United. So I got that book in the 91. I still have it. And I have the date. I used to put the date I bought a book inside of it. God knows why. But I think I got it in 91. And I have spent years working my way through it. And then as I would read one of these classics, I would take a highlighter and I would mark it off. But I'd go through the entire book and mark it off on all the lists that I found it on. But I would, I would take a list. I spent 15 years running the Arden Fair book booth. So I would look for books that I knew were on those lists. So I have a lot and then I spent 8 years working in a bookstore. So I have a lot that I just haven't read yet. I also have a lot of books that I can't donate to a library book sale because I have a lot of paperbacks that don't have a cover. Because in the bookstore, if a book doesn't sell and you do pulls, you have to rip the cover off and you send the cover back to the publisher to get credit. And then you throw away the bulk of the book. So at the time, the manager we had used to let us, as long as it was something that was already on the return list, used to let us take them and take them home to read them. Especially as she said, the more stuff you read that we sell, especially if it's an author that we have more than one of their book, then you then would be better at selling books to customers who come in and don't really know what they want, but you can recommend stuff. So I have a lot of mysteries and science fiction and fantasy and Star Trek books, and they don't have a cover. And I can't donate them anywhere. But I know now I'm probably not going to read all of those. Especially all the Star Trek ones. I'm probably not going to read all those. So I could put them, if I get that little library built, I can put them in the little library and pass them along. Oh, no. Yeah, I have some books I refuse to lend out. I will not lend out any of my Louisa May Alcott books. And I'm still looking for some of the Aunt Joe's scrap bags. That's a whole set, and they're all called Aunt Joe's scrap bag, but there's 7 or 8 of them. I have 2. 2. That's it. I have not been able to find any of the others. They are just darn hard to find. So, so that's it for those 2. I have shawl straps because I just read that one. I read that one again this year. What's the other one called? Because they all fall under that one umbrella title, but then they have on the side of it, they'll have 1 or 2 titles, because they have anywhere from 2 to 3 short stories in them that she wrote. And they've never been reprinted that I have found. So she always called her short stories her scraps. But here's a first edition from 1879 is listed on eBay. It says Aunt Joe's Scrap Bag, Jimmy's Cruise. It's $150 somebody's got it listed as. This is why it's so hard for me to find them. One, I've also kind of looked for ones that were, now this one has a green cover. The one I have, the 2 I have that same kind of look on the spine, but mine are blue. So mine are the later ones. What's this? There's a blue one here. What's that side look? Yeah, that's shawl straps. That doesn't look to be in as good a shape as mine either. 1872 hardcover Roberts Brothers rare, $254. You gotta be kidding me. I don't know if mine's Roberts Brothers. Yeah, an old-fashioned Thanksgiving, that was the first place that was printed. Oh, they must have been reprinted again. Here's one from 1929. Grosset and Dunlap with a dust jacket. It just says Aunt Joe's scrap bag, so I have no idea which one. But mine are blue. I don't see any other ones that match it. I see a couple. I see that same one from the 20s. But yeah, most of them the dates are from the 1800s, which is what mine are. And I don't know if they're all meant to be blue because I only have the 2. Oh, there's another one for $55. That's a blue one. It says from 1874. Cupid and Chow Chow, etc. Meaning it's got more than that story in it. Yeah, but at that price, I can't swing it. But every once in a while, I've gotten really lucky with some of the Louisa May Alcotts that I do have, and I would pick them up at library sales, and I used bookstores sometimes. So I don't know what the solds are. Let's see what the solds are. Let's flip it over here to sold items and see what they've got. These are later ones from the 20s, are 8 and 10. Oh, wow. Ho. Set of 6, Aunt Joe's scrap bag, 1871 and 1901. Every one of them looks like they're a different color. They got $270. So there's the 6. My boys, shawl straps, Cupid and Chow Chow, My Girl, Jimmy's Cruise, Old Fashioned Thanksgiving, which I think is the other one I have. And it's green and blue, and a brown, and a brownish red, and a blue, and a red one. But that's a different shade of blue. My 2 are dark blue. I wonder if that other one I have is just another of the same one. I'll have to look. Yeah, there's an 1880 Jimmy's Cruise for $25. Now there's volume 1 and 2, 1888, 1890. Took a best offer, and they had it originally at $49.95. But those are both dark blue, and that's 1 and 2. And I know the 2 I have are both dark blue. So now I'm going to look when I go upstairs to bed, because all my Louisa May Alcott books are on. I have a wooden tabletop bookcase, and it has sliding doors. That is packed full of Louisa May Alcott books. And then it's all sitting on top of a 6-foot tall bookcase. Well, the top shelf of that bookcase is also a lot more Louisa May Alcott books. And the shawl straps are I know that the scrapbook ones, they are right there in the middle of the bookcase one. So I'll look and see what ones I got when I go upstairs to bed tonight. So let's see. Let's take a peek at eBay listings. I have not had the sale yet on the Patrick Seal totem pole, made at the Eagle Boy Alaska Black Diamond store. That's what the seal on the bottom is for. But it's had 22 people look at it. One person's watching it. That's listed for $225. And then the Hallmark Halloween card doesn't have any bids yet, but it's only been up for 2 or 3 hours, and that's got 4 people have looked at it already. Not so lucky with the Mount Washington Cog Railway pamphlet from 1958, but that's a very niche thing. I wish that M.A. Hadley plate would sell. No, it doesn't get too many looking at it, but hey, apparently they want the ships. Oh, thank you. Thank you for... well, good night, Lou, and thank you for the thumbs up reminder. Oh, we've gone up. We have 11 watching now. I know I do get more on my when it's a sale, but I knew, being that this was Border Review Week, that there just would not. I mean, I knew I just would be just too wiped out. There's too much to do for Boy Scouts. There's so much paperwork to do. I was so done last night. I mean, we stopped at Wawa and each bought something to eat. I got a quesadilla, and once I was done eating, and I took an naproxen for my back, and I finished a cup of tea, and I just was done. And I went to bed and slept for 12 hours. And I didn't even open up my TARDIS bag. Because that has all the paperwork and has my notebook, has the rank advancement book, and I didn't care. I didn't even open it up. So I haven't even put it into the online log for scouting. I haven't even, updated that with all the border reviews and merit badge cards that I got of completed merit badges. I just didn't even touch it. And I didn't touch it today because I was like, no, I need a break, that I'm not doing any scout stuff today. I need a break because I have been done it every single day nonstop for 2 solid weeks now. I need a break. So that's I'll deal with that tomorrow. At least get the stuff logged in, get that done. I don't know what the weather's going to be Saturday. I don't know if I'm going to see about having more kids come out for service time, if I can just throw something together, but don't really think I can. I'm just not. The last ones I did, they broke my loppers. They didn't follow directions. Twins just tried to force the loppers to cut down a tree with a trunk like this, and they actually sheared both of the bolts that hold the blade part in. So they broke my loppers, and my handsaw, which was a gift from a friend, vanished. I was so mad when I realized I can't find that. And I, with my cane, because I couldn't walk without it, I'm out there trying to do, on a wet, dim day last Saturday, trying to get these guys service time to make up for the adopt a highways that they didn't do so that they can advance. And then my saw has vanished. It's a handsaw about this long, has the curved handle, and it's bright red. So, yeah, I was like, I was so mad. I'm out there with my cane pushing leaves aside, looking for this saw. Mike even drove over there later that day looking for it. Saw has just vanished into thin air. And I'm like, my budget is that tight that replacing that is not an easy thing. But the somebody from the troop committee has said that they will see to it that the troop replaces. I just have to go find out what the cost is, and the troop will replace both my loppers and the saw that went missing, but just couldn't find it. Good night, Melinda. Oh, a replacement hat? No, that's okay, because I don't tend to wear baseball cap type hats that often. I still own a Wawa one, and I own the one that says I'm a Scoutmaster. And most of the time, it's not on my head. Unless I'm out on the parade field where, then it's trying to block some of the sunlight. But yeah, I don't tend to wear that kind of hat very often. I have 2. And even the Wawa one is the one that I wore as an employee. So I haven't worn it since then. It's just kind of a nostalgia thing. But yeah, and actually I was hoping to get my nails done today, but I didn't, because I tried these 2 and I love it. Most of the time when you get a glitter nail polish, it doesn't want to come off. And you put it over top of your nail polish, and then the stuff doesn't want to come off. But this combination, this creamy color, and then this over top of it, this gives it this neat little pink tinge, and the glitter is so fine. I had no trouble getting the stuff off with nail polish remover. That's the first time that's ever happened. But the other set is darker. It's like that plum purple color. And then I wanted to try that one. They're sitting up on Mike's desk, but I just never quite got the chance. They're in Ulta soon. I don't know what that means. I did also try something else new. Lily and Fox, which popped up on my Facebook thing. And I don't usually pay much attention to the ads that pop up on Facebook. But it was for nail wraps that you do yourself. It's almost like a sticker. Those were really good too, because they really took a lot of abuse before they started like flaking off at the tips and stuff. So those were pretty cool because you can get different patterns. But because my nails are so short, I very quickly found out that if I trim them, the little sticker part, that I will be able to get from what would be normally one set for somebody with longer nails, I'll actually be able to get two sets out of that. So each one comes with enough to do your nails two times if you had long nails. I don't have really long nails. So I can actually get four out of each one, which will be cool. They have some cool stuff. They have one, and I did it because if you did it then you got a 25% off promotional code. So I only got two or three, because they're only like $2.99 each, but I think I got three different styles. And then they came out with the Halloween ones. And there's this awesome looking one that's cobweb. Don't have to worry about the spider, but it's a cobweb one for Halloween. Oh, wow. I think there's an Ulta Beauty thing out at Springfield Mall. So, but yeah, these are really nice nail polish. Thank you very much, because I like having nails done. They don't always last long enough to get too long. Like there's these two on the end. That one and the little tiny one. That's usually about as long as they get, and then I'll have done something. Like go to the doctor's office and snap them off on their table. Oh man, that was quite a surprise. But they have a oh wow. They have a lot of cool stuff. My goodness. They have makeup and everything. Well, I got plenty of makeup. After doing the heck was it called? They would send, because this is one of the pouches. Um Ipsy. I did Ipsy, and I didn't even do it for a whole year because I ended up with enough makeup to last me for years. And I noticed though with Ipsy, it got to the point where you were getting all the same colors all over again for like eyeshadow and stuff. But it was a nice way to try some different stuff out. Um, but yeah, I think I did it for 6 months, and I had enough makeup to last me for a couple of years. Though I did find by doing that with Ipsy, I did finally find a foundation that I can use. Most liquid foundations are too heavy or too greasy and they make me break out, or they look orange on me because my skin is so pale. And I actually found two that I can use, that uh, I never would have found if it hadn't been from trying them on Ipsy. Oh, they have a dark academia? I've heard of that. Like there's a whole style of stuff for dark academia. And it's all based on anime stuff, but oh, what is this? What's Golden Girls? Oh, mini luster glass lipstick vault. Oh, that's funny. That's a lot of lipsticks though. Well, no wonder it's $100. There's 12 lipsticks in there. Some of them are a bit dark for me, but I do like that purple one. Purple seems to be a thing here. Where's just nails? New arrivals, new arrivals. Where is... I find just nails. Makeup and nail gifts. I want to see if I can find this dark academia. I have to be careful of what's in my eyes. There are some eyeshadows that I have found I have a problem with. Um, so I do need to be mindful of that. Oh Lord, Wicked Galinda makeup set. No, not Glinda. I, I had a chance and I saw the touring company for Wicked come through Philly, and it was a cool thing. My sister took me to for my birthday one year. And boy, that Glinda character, Galinda, she come out as perky as could be, and I just sat there and I went, how many pixie sticks did this girl eat before she came out on that stage? It just was something else. It just was so perky and full of energy, and it was like, oh heavens, no. No, no, no. So, how did this bump me to an Ulta? I just realized it. It's actually like I'm not on the right site. They have they have the Holo Taco nail polish. They have it on their online. No wonder I wasn't finding it stuff right. I was not on the right website. It's spooky season. No, get it. You don't need to put cookies in. No, go away. Oh, I see. Dark academia. I don't know what wearing black nail polish would look like on me. I'm so pale normally. Glow in the dark nail polish? Oh, I didn't know they made such a thing. Oh, that could be fun. That could be so much fun. Wow. Wow. That thing needs to sell. That $200 flipping thing needs to sell. Oh, wow. That just would be awesome. Glow in the dark nail polish. I could have so much fun with that, especially at Camp Scouts. Oh my goodness. That definitely could be fun. They do have a lot of metallics, don't they? Their names are great. There's an iron violet, but not seeing... That's a blue. Oh, twice in a blue moon. That's TARDIS blue with sparkly bits. Wow. Inkwell and Secret Society, huh? Well, I'm gonna have to save up and see if I can get twice in a blue moon and the glow in the dark one. Wow. So let's see, what is it you want? Inkwell. Let's see if it's under this. Don't see it there. Banana? What is this banana? Ooh, that's a nice shade of yellow. I have shirts that shade. I could actually have my clothes match my nail polish. Banana cream yellow shade. Banana medicine. Oh. Yeah, I like having nail polish, but a lot of them just don't last that long. And then I no longer have those work gloves for like doing your dishes, and that's a big killer. That's a big killer for your nails. But I refuse to be spending all that money going to a salon, and my nails are thin. So they do tend to snap pretty easily. So, and sometimes when they break, they don't even snap off, they layer. They break this way. And then that's a mess because then the other half is so thin that you can't get it to, then it's just going to break the other way. So it's a pain in the neck. But I do like having different I've always loved having different colors. Coolest thing I ever had one time was somebody on Facebook Marketplace was giving away, and this was Facebook had just started Marketplace, and they were giving away about 20 different bottles of nail polish. So I picked them all up because my one of my nieces, they were having one of their birthdays, and so I went and did all their nails. All their friends that were at the party, I did all their nails for them. So they had a blast with it. And they were pretty young too. So I think they were all 13-year-olds at the time. So that was fun. That was a lot of fun. And then most of the nail polishes that were left over, I used until they were gone. So I do like nail polish. And I've been trying to wear it more often. So, well, it's 1 a.m. I've prattled on for 2 hours, answered questions where I could, and I'm gonna I'm gonna go. My throat's starting to get a little sore anyway, so I'm gonna go. And I think I'm gonna go I don't have any more lemongrass tea. Big Lots is now completely going out of business. That's the only place I've been able to find lemongrass tea. So I'm so bummed. Uh, but they're all now going out. I thought it was supposed to be just a limited few, but now they've decided they're all going to go. So I usually, when my throat's bothering me, when I'm done here, I usually get lemongrass tea. I usually drink lemongrass tea with some honey in it. It helps my throat, and I don't have any more. So now I will have to find a new place to get lemongrass tea. Well, I guess I'll have to start looking online because I just haven't found anybody. And that's not one that Twinings has. So I'm going to go and get something for my throat. Maybe rooibos. I don't know how that's actually pronounced. Rooibos or chamomile, and throw some honey into it. I will see you next week for a sale. I was good, and this week had the thumbnail up last week. So I'm going to try to do that again. So this weekend, I'm hoping to start pulling stuff because I want to have a video of what's going to be offered. And being that it's a live sale, it will start at 10 o'clock. So I'll start that hour earlier for the sale. And I will see you guys then. And I'll make sure I bring the second one of that Halloween card to the sale. Since I so rarely have Halloween stuff to sell, I'll make sure I bring that second copy of that card to the sale. And hopefully then we'll have some fun. I hope you like me doing the I did that Nick at Night, the television trivia. I thought that was fun. I had a lot of fun seeing what you guys came up with in the comments. So I hope you like that, because I'm going to do it again at the next sale. So everybody have a good night, and I will see you guys next week. I don't know if there's going to be, I know consistency is a key, but with all this in this house, that's not always possible. So I don't know that I'll have any videos up this week. Next week, however, on the 14th, I'm supposed to go out to my friends again and stay for 3 days and come back on Wednesday before Scouts. So she's gonna take me to that one big Goodwill. Oh, well, actually, both Goodwills that are near her are way bigger than any of the 3 that are near me. So, so if I'm lucky, because I could film in the one, but the one didn't have hardly anything on the shelves, because the music was low enough. It wasn't a problem. The other one, the music was way too loud. So I wasn't able to film in that one, but I did find a few cool things, because I had that little devil girl, which was good. And actually, most of the stuff I got, I did sell to you guys, because I didn't get that much. Because I don't tend to buy unless it's something I really think that one of my viewers is looking for or will enjoy. So I don't tend to do that often, but so I'm gonna go again this time and see if I can find any quirky little Halloween things, and it'll be a surprise in the sale. But I do want to pull at least 10 things before then and have a video up. So I'll try to do that this weekend. Or no, it won't be. I'm seeing her after we have our sale next week. I'm getting my days all screwed up. That's definitely a clue that it's time to go. So if you've enjoyed the chat, thank you very much for the thumbs up. And if you're seeing it on the replay, by all means, leave a comment. It certainly helps the algorithm. And like and subscribe is, the usual thing. I am so blessed because one of my the first in a long time shop at Goodwill kind of went kaboom, and it's had over like 2,000 views. And I don't know why that one just suddenly took off, but it did. And I'm so thankful for it, because I am at 1,200 viewers, 1,200, and it's dropping a little bit. So it's down to 1,200 and I think 18, but it's at 1,200. I'm so happy. For some reason, like that went off and I gained like 100 subscribers, and I'm so blessed with that. Thank you very much. So I'm just going to keep thinking about that and how good that is. And I'm going to keep moving forward, and I'm going to get all this stuff off the desk and packed, including this cute little, adorable little pin cushion that somebody made out of I love the flowers on this. That is really cute. So, like I said, I've got stuff sitting all around me now to get packed. Gotta keep that up this weekend. All right. I'll see you Thursday. And I'll try to have a video done, probably not till Monday, of what's going to be in the sale on Thursday. Let's do a preview video. Okay? I won't show you everything necessarily, but I'll at least try to show you 10 of the items that'll be there. So have a good weekend, guys, and give a kind thought to all the people who have been affected by that hurricane that went through. I mean, Asheville has gotten completely wiped out. they thought the storm was going to go to the, what was it, that it was supposed to go to the west, and instead it went to the east, and it picked up strength right before it hit them. So they didn't even have time to evacuate, so, and that was South Carolina and parts of Tennessee. So send a prayer this weekend and a kind thought, to the universe out there, that everybody that needs help gets it this weekend. There's still areas they can't even get to the houses. So keep them in your prayers. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week. Good night, everybody.